is Eric Schroef at the VMware booth, and I'm right at the VMware Cloud Operation Advisory Services, and this is a special enablement from VMware which offers clients an insight into would it benefit them to step into cloud computing. I'm right here with Greg Stanley. How are you?
Doing great, good morning.
Okay, can you explain a bit more about the input values of deciding to go into cloud computing?
Certainly. This tool is called a Move the Needle. And the idea is that we take a look at 7 KPIs and we measure where a customer is on aspects like the server percent virtualized, the percent of desktops virtualized, tier 1 app virtualization, time to provision, the VM to admin ratio, self-service, and then chargeback capabilities. The idea is we show the customer where they are on this scale, and then we show them where the worst peers in their industry are and where the best peers in their industry are. We then calculate the value of what it's worth to them potentially by moving their needle from their current position in each of these KPIs to where the best performing peers are located.
Okay, so what we see here is a tool, and the tool can be fed with a company name, a currency. I can put in the number of physical servers, the workload, the type of business.
Exactly. These KPIs you see here are the inputs that we use to determine those 7 KPI measurements. And the great thing about these measurements are they're pretty high level enough to where it doesn't require a lot of data mining or analysis to understand where your starting point is. We can very simply collect this information within just a few minutes, actually, to show that. In fact, I can show you an example of one.
Great, let's take a look.
So we would want to start with a particular customer and we start with their industry. So let's just say, for example, we want to look at the banking industry. Now immediately when we select that, it has now filled in the entries of the average for the banking industry. If a customer is interested or their numbers are different, then we can come and change these numbers to represent their particular performance. Lastly, we want to identify where they are in terms of their chargeback and showback capability, which is critical for cloud capability and cloud maturity. So we'll select a couple of options here. The other one is for self-service capability, where they are in the self-service.
Then we move the needle to see our results.
Yes,
that's a nice catch.
Exactly, we're going to move the needle to see the results. So when we move the needle, let's shrink that a little bit. What this is showing us is, again, the 7 KPIs we identified, percent server virtualized. We show that this particular, the average of the peer group, because we didn't change anything, is at about 55%. The worst peers are at 2%. The best peers are 100% virtualized. And what we show is what would be the value for the average customer in banking if they were able to move that needle from 55 to 100. We're saying that's about 13 million euros. And we look at the same aspects for all of the other KPIs. The net result is there's savings that represent close to 36 million euros.
Does the savings include the investments that have to be made into cloud computing?
Yes, we're looking at net savings. So we're looking at a saving that's based on a per additional server virtualized, which includes things like hardware, software, OpEx, CapEx, and so forth. The other thing we show is we've got this contribution capability. The biggest challenges businesses are facing today is how to deal with growing their business, attracting and retaining new customers, and becoming more reliable. So we showed these aspects here of efficiency, agility, reliability. And what we show that in each of these KPIs, there's a different contribution toward that goal. So if your goal is to become more agile in your industry, then we want to look at these things that have a larger impact. Things like end-to-end provisioning, chargeback, and self-service capability. And we can do the same thing for efficiency and reliability.
Okay, so if a client is interested in these services, where do they go?
If they're interested in these services, they should just contact the Accelerated Advisory Services Group, and there's a EMEA team and a US team.
Okay, Greg, many thanks for your interview. A great service, thank you.
Thank you very much.